Hi, my name's Dr. Justine Ferrer. I'm the Director of Teaching in the Department of Management within the Faculty of Business and Law. I want to welcome you to this presentation today, and I trust that by you being here that you've got an interest in management, human resource management, or human resource management and psychology. I'm also the current discipline leader for the HR group within our Department of Management. So I think it puts me in a good position to be able to talk to this presentation today, as well as give you the opportunity afterwards, if I don't answer all your questions or I haven't completely sold you on these particular areas today, that you stay around for the Q&A session afterwards and ask myself. I'll be there. There'll be other course directors and staff with discipline knowledge, as well as student advisors. So between all of us, hopefully we will be able to answer your questions. Let me just start by providing an acknowledgement to country. I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which our Deakin University campuses reside, the Wurrung people of the Kulin Nation on whose land our Geelong campuses are located, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation on whose land our Burwood campus is located, and the Gadigal people on whose land our Warrnambool campus is located. Just to give you a quick overview of what we're going to do, hopefully, as I mentioned, hopefully we'll be able to answer all your questions in this particular presentation, and to give you some additional insight into what it is that these particular areas entail, encompass, and what they can actually provide for future students that come into the courses. Excuse me. So today we're going to talk about Bachelor of Commerce, 3 courses in particular. Bachelor of Commerce that has got a major both in management and or HRM. So HRM, when I refer to it, it's human resource management. I'm sure you know that, but just to be clear for everyone, Bachelor of Business with a major in people management. People management is another way that we can refer to HRM, and we've called it people management just to differentiate it between the 2 courses, as well as a Bachelor of Human Resource Management and Psychology. So obviously, if you're here, you've got an interest in one of these areas, maybe in multiple areas, and you're not really sure about what they actually entail and what it means. Why would I do a major in management, or why would I do a major in human resource management and the like? Each of these 3 areas, so we're talking about management, human resource management / people management, as well as psychology, are relevant to organisations. They're relevant to all organisations, irrespective of where they are. So it's not that we're going to become an accountant and work in a particular accounting industry. We can be an accountant and have management skills and have HR skills, and they are relevant irrespective of where you are. In the current environment, let me give you a little bit of context. COVID environment, it's a crazy, crazy time that businesses have found themselves in this particular year, with lots of change happening. A lot of this requires skills of managers, human resource managers or human resource practitioners, as well as the psychology of it. It's critical. These are critical skills for managing organisations through all times, but particularly in times of crisis, which is what for some organisations COVID has been like. All right, let's talk about management. Why study management? What is it about? Management provides you complementary skills. So they provide you skills about how to manage an organisation and all aspects of it. So whether it's about being innovative, or whether it's about the logistics of what you're doing and how you're doing it, whether it's about the ethics or the organisational behaviour. There are lots of elements to it. And it provides you a complementary skill set. So, you know, you can do a management major, and it's going to be relevant wherever you are, all aspects of your business and your working life. but it's complementary in the sense that it can sit next to any other major, because all other majors, irrespective of what they are, will require management skills at some stage. You know, so if you do become an accountant, or that is your desire, and you do a management major next to it, it complements it in the sense that you can become an account manager, or you can become a manager of people of a accounting firm, as an example, if that's relevant. But it does sit by itself, because we do, irrespective, we can go into a business and build on our skills and work our way up and use all those management skills in whatever area. Doesn't necessarily have to be aligned. So what it's going to do is give you some competitive advantage when you go out into the job market, that you've got those knowledge, skills and abilities in order to be successful in managing of a business area. HR. If your interest is just working with people, then HR is probably not what you should be doing. HR is more than that. It's working with people. It's about managing your core human resource within the organization, which is your people. So you are working with people, but it's bigger in the sense that it's about how do we leverage this human resource to be effective and efficient in order to achieve the organization's goals. It's a complex area in the sense that it's strategically, it's trying to deliver on organizational goals, but also in the sense that HR provides a conduit from that top down, so from the CEO level down, about implementing. We want to make a major change within the organization. HR, you need to do that, whatever that means. It's about a change management program. It's about training development. It's about redeployment, etc., etc. But it's also bottom up. So it's about the employees and when they're not happy, they're not engaged at work, they're not motivated. So what does that mean? What changes need to be made? So HR has this really interesting and exciting role in which they are playing all parts of the organization. But it's about managing employees' well-being and the utilizations of the employees for the organization's benefit. The psychology aspect is about understanding human nature and human behavior and the consequence for organizations. It complements human resource management extremely well. That's why we do have a course on it. But it just gives us that additional level of insight to provide us about people just generally in order to manage them more effectively, particularly in times of crisis, particularly in times that we find ourselves now. It's particularly prevalent. As we go through, I'll unpack those ideas a little bit further. The Bachelor of Commerce, let's talk about that. This is an interesting, exciting course. I'm going to say exciting course for all of them, so my apologies in advance. So what you start off in year one is your core knowledge and skills. This is where you do your core units. So this is going to give you a taster of marketing, finance, information systems, accounting, a little bit of everything to give you some insight for when you go into year two and decide what your major what you want your major to be. This is where we're hoping that you're going to say management or HRM. It's an 8-8-8 structure. So 8 core units, 8 units in a major. So it gives you that structure so you can piece it together as you want. Your discipline, insight and intelligence is where you start to build your ideas around your major or your area of interest, where you want to go out and work. Professional identity is where you start to bring it all together in your final year, and this is where you start to really hone in on those skills that you need to become a successful graduate. So 8 core units build personal, market and financial acumen. Here are our units within both of our majors. As you can see, they're quite varied, but what they're going to give you is the skills, knowledge and abilities in order to be successful graduates, employable and successful graduates. So it's not only about what you know, but it's about how you're utilising that information so that you become employable, so that people look at you. Now, we know that Deakin graduates have the benefit of the Deakin brand, which does do a lot for when you actually go out into a graduate position or post your course. I'm talking a lot about employability. I'm talking a lot about graduates and how you finish the course. A lot of what we do, and this is just generally for all of our courses, is focused on that endpoint, because we want you to be successful, and everything we do from the very start, from when you come into Deakin, is about that endpoint, is about preparing you for and to be successful in your chosen career. So there you go. As you can see here, I just highlighted in the bottom, each of these particular majors finish with their capstone. So this capstone is part of that professional identity, is where you bring together your overall knowledge of your particular major. So you can see applied management capabilities and strategic HRM are both capstones. So what it is, it's just tying all those threads together so that you can sort of do a big project in order to demonstrate what you've learnt through your major. There are lots of, there are other majors, finance, accounting, marketing, etc., as well as minors, and you can sort of cut and paste these as you want. I'd encourage you to have a look in more depth if you're interested in other majors on the course websites, as well as the course information that you're provided here. What are the differences between the two majors? Well, management is about getting things done through people. HR is about managing people through systems, policies and processes. They're both focused on employability and graduate ready skills so that you can go out and be successful when you go into business. A lot of management major students will go out and will be working likely already whilst they are doing their courses, and will go out and be able to apply those skills and then work up within the organisations that they're in. So they'll be able to improve their current position. HR provides you with the skills, knowledge and abilities in order to successfully go out there and work in HR, whether it's in a graduate position or in a generalist or HR admin position. So there are lots of opportunities. Okay, let's talk about the Bachelor of Business. The Bachelor of Business has a strong practical focus. It provides compulsory work integrated learning opportunities. I will come back to that, and equips you with the skills you need to get the job you want. What I didn't mention about the Bachelor of Commerce Human Resource Management major, my apologies, is that it's accredited with the Australian Human Resources Institute, and I will elaborate on that further as well. It's got, the Bachelor of Business has got 10 core units. These are different, quite different to the Bachelor of Commerce. How these two courses are different is the Bachelor of Business is more focused on skill development, and it's more aligned to, as you can see with those Bachelor of Business majors, more aligned to specific job markets or jobs, as you can see there. The core units look at the general ideas and knowledge that you need and want, such as entrepreneurship, management, marketing, making sense of information. So just some core skill-based areas, as well as 3 personal skills units, which is about you as a student and understanding yourself and building on your own personal capabilities around interpersonal skills, team dynamics, my apologies, as well as global mindset and citizenship. The people management major here, as you can see, it's a little bit different. It's not quite as big as the human resource management major. However, it is still accredited with the Australian Human Resources Institute. And what that means is, against its model of excellence, is that we're ticking off and saying that our students are going out with the core skills that HR practitioners need to be successful. So yes, so our people management major, and this a little bit of changing of the units just to differentiate it. We didn't want it exactly the same, and because it's people management, we've ensured we've put an organisational behaviour focus in there. Entry requirements for both of these courses, as you can see, the Bachelor of Commerce is a little bit higher than the Bachelor of Business. That doesn't mean anything really in terms of the quality of the course. That just means about what it is you want to do and how successful, I suppose, you've been as you've done your VCE. Our Bachelor of Business is by no means because it's lower of a lower quality, because it's not. It's an exciting course and it's seeing massive growth. And we've got quite a few students who are working in very successful positions who have come through this Bachelor of Business. So it's what you take out of it. So as much effort and energy you put in, and then what you take out of it. And there's lots of opportunities that I'll talk about in a little bit. But just in terms for both courses, requires VCE if you're coming in after year 12, a VCE score of 25. Non-school leavers have to meet certain requirements, and you need to apply directly to Deakin through their applications portal. Both courses are offered at Burwood Waterfront in Geelong, as well as Cloud. And because of the way that Deakin's structured, we're set up for online learning if that's the way that you want to go. As well as Bachelor of Commerce does have a Warrnambool campus and a Warrnambool offering. But please, if you want some more information about the application process, please ask the student advisors in the Q&A session after this. Just a quick becoming a human resource manager, just a quick snapshot. You're not going to walk out of an undergraduate degree and become a human resource manager. You have to work up towards that, but lots of students do it. But just to give you some insight, so as a HR manager, what you're often, your role is quite diverse. So you could be doing a performance appraisal on a particular employee, then you can be having a strategic meeting with the CEO and the CFO of the organisation about a particular change program. Then you can be going and writing some policy around working from home. Just to give you an example of the diversity of it. Okay, so our Bachelor of Human Resource Management in Psychology. So this is an exciting course. Told you I'd say it's exciting. It's exciting in the sense that we've worked hard to get this up. This has only been offered from this year. So if this is where you go, this is what you want to do, then you'll only be our second year students going through it. It's a 3-year degree. It's dual accredited with ARI. So I've talked about ARI, Australian Human Resources Institute, as well as the Australian Psychology, I'll say that again, Australian Psychology Accreditation Council, the APAC. What this means is that there are dual career pathways through this particular course. Why is this unique? It's unique in the sense that no other university offers what we offer with respect to this. They may offer something similar, but usually that is a double degree in between human resource management as well as psychology. This is not a double degree. This is one degree, a Bachelor of Human Resource Management Psychology, on which you'll get dual career pathways, which means it's going to be shorter. Those other courses will be 4 years. This is only 3 years, but we're delivering on the same benefit in the sense that when you finish the course is accredited with the Australian Human Resources Institute, as well as, which means you can go into HR, into any position, as well as the APAC, which means you can continue on your psychology study to become a registered psychologist or organisational psychologist. HR and psychology complement each other well, and this is particularly relevant today in today's society. If you see that little quote there, human resource management is a core aspect of business influenced by recent globalization and technology changes. An updated approach driven by behavioural insights from psychology is required by employers to provide the best solution to HR questions in everyday business. In the current COVID environment, this is particularly relevant because we've got more and more HR questions about what does it mean to be remote working? What is the impact on people's well-being? What about, you know, and I can go on and on and on. So let's have a look at the entry requirements for this particular course. I'm just want to make sure I've told you all the things that I needed to say. So graduating from a dual career course, a dual accredited course, I should say, dual accredited course, within 3 years is a significant stamp of approval for both the quality and the desirability of our graduates. So what it gives you is the opportunity, all right, I'm going to study HR and psychology. I'm going to see the interconnects between each of those areas, and I can go to work in HR, or I can go and continue my studies into psychology. Entry requirements, as you can see, the ATAR is 75.85 at Burwood. You require a study score of at least 30 in English, and non-school leavers can apply directly through the applications portal. It is, given the nature of the course in the quite specific study areas and the psychology associated, it does require a high ATAR as a result. You can see the structure. 12 to 13 psychology units, 10 to 11 HR management unit, 1 integrated learning unit. It's a requirement that you do an work integrated learning unit. When you get to the end, you can either do a HR capstone or you do a psychology based research capstone, and that'll be dependent on, as you go through, deciding, well, do I want to go into HR or do I want to go into psychology? I would advise you, when you're getting to that stage, that you have a chat to a student advisor at that time. So quite exciting. There's not much scope for flexibility in this particular course because we are fitting essentially 2 courses into it, but it's going to give you some really quite specific career pathways. Work-ready graduates. Now, I've talked about employability, that we're focused on employability as well as discipline knowledge. It's how do we do this? We've talked about accreditation. I've talked about ARI, and ARI is quite significant through ensuring that what we're doing and each of what I've presented with respect to HR and people management is accredited with ARI, is that we're delivering graduates that meet the requirements of the ARI model of excellence. Australian Psychology Accreditation Council as well. So we're meeting multiple accreditations for that HR psych degree. But we've got lots of industry connections. We rely on these industry connections in order to ensure what we're doing is correct, that's meeting industry requirements, to make sure we're capturing these new areas that are evolving in industry, and that's incorporated into what we do. So we've got advisory boards that sort of provide us advice around our courses that we rely on quite substantially. And these are from a number of different areas. And they're just some examples. Work integrated learning, compulsory in the Bachelor of Business, compulsory in the Bachelor of HR Psychology. It's an opportunity in the Bachelor of Commerce. Graduate outcomes. Graduate outcomes. We often talk a lot about careers of the future, and so we can, in management, I've talked a little bit about both of these things, but just let me talk about careers of the future. In management, there are always going to be requirements that we need managers, and that's a given. HR, we're seeing particular growth in areas such as change management, talent acquisition, and especially within the current environment, it's important. Change management particularly is important and relevant given the craziness in which we currently live. HR growth area is finding bigger and better ways in which to do things. And as HR becomes more strategic and management roles become more strategic, the breadth and depth of those particular roles will change substantially. But there are always going to be jobs in this area. Deakin Accelerate, this is for those students who are currently in year 11 and want to get a little bit of a competitive edge for themselves before they start university. So Deakin Accelerate is where you will study a couple of units, university units, whilst you're doing your VCE, your year 12. It will boost your ATAR between 3 to 5 increment points added to your ATAR aggregate. Earn university credit, study for free, ease your transition into university. We've got 2 management units, which are management and entrepreneurship and innovation, in which you could do, but there are other units. Who should apply? High achievers with above average year 11 results, a self-starter that can work independently, someone who's motivated to achieve a high ATAR score, keen to make a head start on your university degree. So if that's you, you should apply. You should really consider this. The students that I have seen come through this program are brilliant and just really love the opportunity and engage quite substantially, which is really exciting. Please ask the student advisors if you have additional information there. Lots of pathways to come through into any of these courses. Please explore those more readily. Student services, lots of opportunities, lots of services available for students. So don't ever think you're alone as a student. One of the things that Deakin prides itself on is its ability to support students. And it might be, for example, that, all right, I'm doing an accounting unit. I'm not really good at maths, so we can find a peer assisted study session, or we can find some mentors, or and they're really experienced students that run some of these programs, but also if you're having some personal issues, there's lots of opportunities there for support. Why choose Deakin? Well, I think the presentation is quite obvious. There are lots of reasons to choose Deakin, and I think the focus on employability, the focus on you as a graduate and the skills that you're taking into the workplace to meet industry requirements is critical, as well as the opportunities that Deakin provides you as a student to increase your opportunity when you do go into the workforce, such through internships, work integrated learning and the like. So please join us at our live Q&A session. Now, please ask any questions that you might have. Dr. Hugh Flattow-Harrison, he's our course director for our Bachelor of Human Resource Management Psychology. He will be there. I'll be able to answer any of your questions to do with all the other courses. There will be lots of people. So please, if I haven't answered your questions in this session, stay around and ask those questions now. Have a lovely day. I hope that the session has been helpful to you, and I wish you all the best of luck in your in making your decision and in your future endeavours.